Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Ethereum is running into important support, and in just a few hours from now, the Federal Reserve will be making an important decision on interest rates, which could heavily affect markets in the short term. So I'll be talking about that in just a moment. Do not miss this. First of all, talking about the upcoming FOMC meeting, also known as a Fed meeting, where the Federal Reserve will be making an important decision on interest rates. And this will be happening in just a few hours from now at the time of recording this video. But the new decision on interest rates will be released at exactly 6 p.m. GMT time on the 14th of June. So once again, just a few hours from now. In fact, by the time you're watching this video, it might already be out. But as always, I'll be sure to tweet out the new numbers as soon as they get released over on my Twitter in real time. So if you don't follow me over there, make sure you're doing that. The link is down below in the description and in the pinned comment. And now, if we're looking at the expectations, right now, almost everyone expects for the Federal Reserve to keep interest rates the same for this next Fed meeting, because as you can see right here, the current target rate range is in between 500 basis points and 525 basis points, which basically means in between 5% and 5.25%, which is where the federal funds rate is currently sitting at. And as of right now, the futures market is pricing in around a 95% probability, a 95% chance of this staying the same, and around a 5% chance of a 25 basis point hike, which means raising interest rates by 0.25%. So basically what this means is that if we do end up seeing interest rates stay the same, meaning the Fed basically does not rate hike or rate cut, then in that case, considering almost everyone has already priced that into the market, we shouldn't really see any significant movement in the short term, perhaps a small amount of volatility, but I would not be expecting anything too major if we see a pause in interest rates, or at least a skip for this Fed meeting. But if we see anything other than interest rates staying the same, so for example, if we somehow see a rate cut, or if we do actually see that rate hike, meaning interest rates once again going up by 0.25%, then in either of those cases, considering almost no one is pricing those probabilities into the markets, we would likely see a very volatile move, at least in the short term. And now typically the lower interest rates are, the more bullish that is, and the higher interest rates are, the more bearish that is. And so considering the fact that almost no one has priced in for an interest rate hike at this Fed meeting, if we do end up seeing that, if the Federal Reserve does end up hiking rates by 0.25%, then we would likely see a dump across the markets, because basically market participants would have to immediately reprice their positions to become more bearish in the short term with those higher rates. But if we somehow see an interest rate cut, which I think is very, very unlikely, but if that somehow happens, then we would likely see a pump across markets, because basically market participants would have to reprice their positions to account for the lower interest rate, which is bullish for markets. And now, if you're taking a look at the probabilities for future Fed meetings, once again, this next Fed meeting in just a few hours is priced in at a 95% chance of interest rates staying the same. But if you're looking at the next Fed meeting after that, that is on the 26th of July. And what's interesting is right now, the futures market is pricing in a 63% chance of interest rates being raised by 0.25% at that Fed meeting, at the July Fed meeting, and only around a 33 to 34% chance of interest rates staying the same at the July Fed meeting. So this is quite interesting, because the majority in the market, once again, is basically expecting for interest rates to stay the same at this Fed meeting, but then have one more hike at the next Fed meeting, which in my opinion would be a bit of a mistake for the Federal Reserve to make, because to be the most effective at bringing down inflation, you ideally raise interest rates to where you want to raise interest rates and then keep interest rates there, rather than raising interest rates and then pausing and then raising and then pausing. Basically, that just delays the whole process and delays the process of bringing down an inflation, and actually extends the pain on anyone that has debt. But with that being said, that's basically what the majority in the futures market is currently pricing in. Once again, a pause for this Fed meeting, and then potentially potentially one more 25 basis point hike at the next Fed meeting in July. And then after that, the majority in the market is expecting a pause for the next couple of Fed meetings and then rate cuts coming near the end of this year and early next year. But once again, don't forget about the upcoming Fed meeting in just a few hours, where I will make sure to tweet out the new numbers as soon as they get released over on my Twitter, link down below in the description and in the pinned comment. But anyway, now getting into the Bitcoin part of this video, this is on the daily time frame, and I'll keep this quick because on the daily time frame, nothing has really changed over the last one day. So if you want to know more about these levels of support and resistance, also these price oscillators and this falling wedge pattern, then make sure to check out my last video on the channel, because once again, these haven't really changed over the last one day. And now, just before zooming into the shorter term, I'll quickly mention that right now, Pionex is giving away a 100 USDT airdrop for everyone who completes the requirements. And in case you're wondering, yes, that is the platform that offers a lot of artificial intelligence-based trading, which is definitely something interesting to check out. And I'll be sure to leave more details about that and a link to Pionex in the description down below and also in the pinned comment. So check that out if you want to potentially claim some free money. But anyway, now zooming into the shorter term, this is on the 8-hour Bitcoin to US dollar chart. And right now, this short-term bullish divergence is still currently playing out, because as of right now, both the 8-hour RSI and the 6-hour RSI are currently moving to the upside, holding above this ascending line of support, which once again means just in the imminent short term, we should be expecting reduced bearish momentum, which usually plays out in the form of either choppy sideways price action or a slight bullish recovery, which is pretty much exactly what we have been seeing since this bullish divergence confirmed a few days ago. And so potentially just in the imminent short term, possibly up until that Fed meeting in a few hours from now, this is what I'm mostly expecting in the short term. And as for the momentum in the 8-hour Bitcoin MACD, this is still showing very low momentum despite a recent bullish cross. And obviously these resistance levels have not changed over the last one day. So we still have this resistance sitting in between around 26.1k to 26.5k. And if we see a breakout back above that level, then I would flip more neutral again in terms of the short-term trend. And if we see a breakout above this resistance in between around 27.2k to 27.6k, then in that case, I'll start to flip much more bullish again in terms of the short-term trend. But right now, considering the fact that the price is still below this first area of resistance and still forming lower highs and lower lows, just in the short term, I'm still leaning more bearish than bullish in terms of the trend. It's just in the imminent short term, as in over the next few days and over the past few days, obviously we are taking a little bit of a pause from this short-term bearish trend due to this bullish divergence currently playing out. And now getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this is on the daily time frame, and right now the price of ETH is still trading in between this support and this resistance. First of all, this area of support is sitting in between around 1650 to 1.7k, and this previous level of support, now acting as resistance, is sitting in between around 1770 to 1820. And as for the daily Ethereum price oscillators, these have not changed over the last one day. So at least for now, they are still looking more bearish than bullish, meaning we're likely going to continue this short-term pullback, perhaps into this area of support. But with that being said, right now the price of ETH is running into this important level of support, which is a Fibonacci level sitting at around 1730. So keep that in mind. And now if you're zooming into the shorter term, this is on the 6-hour ETH to US dollar chart. And right now, this short-term bullish divergence is currently playing out, as I've said, over the last 2 days, which basically means we're due to see a reduced bearish momentum in the imminent short term, meaning we're likely about to see either some choppy sideways price action or a slight bullish recovery, which is pretty much exactly what we've seen over the last few days, mostly choppy sideways price action. And so once again, just in the imminent short term, I do continue to expect this to play out. But with that being said, this is currently occurring within a shorter term bearish trend, because as of right now, we still have this active bearish price target sitting at around 1610. And as always, this bearish price target would only become invalidated if we actually see a confirmed breakout back above this level, which is sitting at around 1830. So at least for now, in the short term, I'm still leaning more bearish than bullish in terms of the trend. We're just simply taking a pause from that bearish trend due to this small bullish divergence. But once again, considering nothing has really changed on the daily time frame, this short-term bearish trend is currently occurring within a larger multi-month long bullish trend that we've seen since November last year. And now, if you want to know how to maximize your profits in crypto, no matter if the price is going to the upside, to the downside, or simply chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how to make money using AI, no matter if the price is bearish or bullish, and the video in the bottom left shows you how to make money in a sideways price range. But anyway, that's everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.